Hey, how's it? Like a full-time job.
Yeah, good thing neither of us are working.
Yeah. And then tell me what you have. So, it's so funny.
How's it, everybody? And welcome to the Daily Pigeon. My name's Andy Bumatai.
And I'm James Money.
And you are watching a television show that is edited from a podcast. And that's why it says podcast right there, okay? And the reason I mention that is because every once in a while, you'll see someone's name pop up on the screen. Like here's Rick S. saying, Brian, if can, join us in the chat. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's saying, join us in the chat. And what that means is when we're doing the live portion of the show, right, there is an ongoing chat here. In fact, I'll show it to you here. See, it looks like this right here. You see all these people? These are all people who chat. And if I see someone like Love Pat right here, right, I can clickanize her and boom, she ends up on the screen like that. So that's what we're doing for the people who are going, what the heck are these messages popping up?
This is the message from the Hamajang Gang.
The Hamajang Gang.
Yeah,
That is what
you can join.
Yeah. If you, all you have to do to join the Hamajang Gang, it's very complicated. You just chat.
Yeah.
That's all there is. We broadcast every weekday at 3 p.m. on most major networks, right? And what you do is just search my name, Andy Bumatai, right there. And so that James doesn't feel left out. There's his name too. Okay?
It's me.
I know.
Thank you.
That's who we got all that. Oh, I have all kinds of fancy graphics. You've seen this one. Check this one out. Ooh, beauteous, huh?
It's moving too.
I know, it's moving. That's it.
So you can join us in the chat 3 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch,
LinkedIn.
Yep, LinkedIn.
Believe it or not.
Join us while we tape or we attempt to make this TV show.
Yeah, and you'll be able to see all the backstage stuff that we do, and then and then if you come back after that, you are a glutton for punishment. Because I got to tell you, you're watching this television show right now. I know there are other choices, and guess what? We appreciate you being here.
Yeah,
both of you.
Must be the remote control. The battery died, and they just stuck on this channel.
Yeah, or it's one of those who does that joke? Is it Daryl Bonilla where he goes, "You ever be so lazy? The remote is across the room, and you're like, oh man, I guess I'm watching Lifetime."
Yeah, Daryl Bonilla. Yeah.
Daryl Bonilla, great. We got to have Daryl on. I asked him, but he works during the week, and he can't do it. Yeah. Okay. You know what? I'm going to attempt to do to bring up this.
Video.
Yeah, it's a video, and what it is, Howard Deshefsky. No.
Other Howard.
Oh, Howard Dykes.
Yeah.
Dykes did a thing on how much the median, which is a word that's new to me.
I just know it as
the
thing on the road. The thing on the road that you did.
I can't do it like this. I was just going to play it, but it has to be. You know what? I got to do it really clunky. I'm sorry, you guys. Okay, wait, hold on. I got to do it clunky-ish.
Then let's do it clunky.
Well, here, let me show you. I have to do this first.
The strong winds are also
and
impacting the neighbor islands.
And I have to
boats
blow
becoming loose, power outages,
with
and
this.
strange.
There.
I liked it that way.
Well, that's so we can editorialize.
6:18 right now. Time for Howard's Illustrated Economics.
Median pay for job stayers, Howard.
Job stayers, people who don't change jobs over the course of 12 months.
That was
this
clunky
is the
too.
median pay for job stayers, people who are still in the same job. So how well do they do not taking a new job?
When I grew up, stayers was what you take when, like, I used the elevator.
Median pay in Hawaii was $50,000.
Look this, though. Hawaii is $50,000.
Half made more, half made less. Which Western states were higher than that? Well, Alaska and Washington State are at about 60 grand, so half the job stayers making
not worth
more than
10,000 to
60
live in
grand.
Alaska.
California's median wage is only slightly lower than that, Arizona is under 52, and then comes Hawaii with its 50K median. Oregon is just a tad behind that. Nevada is less, it's close to 48, and Utah is a little under 48. Again, these median wages apply only to people working the same jobs as a year ago. Wages for people switching to new jobs tend to be much higher than that.
Wow. People switching to new jobs are higher.
They are.
Because they haven't figured out that they're sneaking off to the break room. No, but you know what? James and I would like to apologize to everyone in Hawaii because, you know, I'm sure we're responsible for lowering the median.
We bring down the curve.
We bring down the curve. Yeah. We are the curve. Okay. Oh, look. Oh, Ann says, I only have the final group project left. And this is Ann who's studying digital marketing. Oh, cool. So she will be back. Hey, Facebook user, if you know you're on the user group on Facebook, Daily Pigeon Live, go down. There's a link there where you can tell Ecamm Live that it's okay for us to see your name unless you don't want to. Yeah. And that's why you see Facebook user like that.
Incognito.
Right? Yeah, okay. Oh, we want to remind everybody on television, I am remiss. We have a special guest, Ryan Ozawa, who will be joining us for the next 5 segments. Yeah. He's the tech guy here in Hawaii that most of the television stations go to when they have questions that are technical. And sometimes it's about scams, sometimes it's about iPhones, sometimes it's about social media. He's a well-rounded guy. I've known him for a long time. We go back to when Twitter first started.
Maybe he can help us out with some of the menehunes that attack these cameras every now and then.
No, let's not bother him with that because...
Oh, and then if you guys have any questions, you should hit up Andy Bumatai at his email address.
Oh, yeah.
Which is...
right here. info@bumatai.com for you people on television who maybe want to go, oh, where you stay live? Right?
We all live. We always live. I breathing, I stay alive.
We should have called this show Half Alive. When I was with Booga Booga, we did an album called Half Alive because half of it was produced and half of it was alive. Yeah, there we go. Hey, look at Medium 7 Upside. I just read something about that. Some people switch jobs on purpose just because they make more money than staying where they are. Well, guess what? We're not going to stay where we are. We're going to take a commercial break and we'll be right back with Ryan Ozawa after this. No go away. And we're back. Thank you so much for rejoining the Daily Pigeon. My name's Andy Bumatai.
And I'm James Money.
And I know you didn't come back to see us. You came back to see the tech man himself, the go-to guy in Hawaii, all the TV stations. You've seen him talk about iPhones and scammers and social media. Please help me welcome my good buddy, Mr. Ryan Ozawa. How's it?
Aloha. Hi, Andy. Hi, James. Good to be here. I like that when you previously mentioned I was well-rounded. I am. I'm very rounded. I'm kind of aspiring to James's level of roundness.
Well, I'm more of like a bass or cello.
Well, good luck getting to to James's status because Brother is sponsored by Oahu Golf Apparel.
Thank you.
And when you need a 6X, then you talk to him.
I'm working my way.
Yeah. So tell me, Ryan, was I fairly accurate? Many of the television stations call you up and ask you questions about stuff. Am I wrong?
Well, it's like a dial a nerd situation. Like I have no idea what the person's saying. What are those acronyms? What end do you plug this thing into? I'm pretty much like to make myself available to help them out.
Well, why do they keep asking you back then?
Probably because my rates are very, very reasonable. I think they're probably similar to the rates you and James charge for your talents. So, yeah. bringing the medium salaries down. That's our specialty for sure.
That's our specialty right there. Well, let me ask you this. Hey, look, Jose is in the house. Hey, Jose, how you, brother? I hear you're on the road with 2 more. Congratulations. Brian, let me ask you this. What's your favorite tech as of late?
Oh gosh, like any easily distracted um, person who should be acting his age but isn't. Of course, everybody's all playing with artificial intelligence and having it write poetry and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's been a ton of fun. But right now is kind of a period where geolocation is becoming exciting again. And I'm not sure if you remember, I think you've probably done more than a few YouTube shows with people who did geocaching, which was like
Yeah.
treasure
And
hunting,
geofencing,
stuff
that
like
type of
that,
thing.
or Ingress, where you run around, or Pokemon Go, obviously,
Yeah,
was the
yeah,
big one.
obviously.
So yeah, playing around with maps has been my current obsession. There's a new site called Gowalla, which was really big back in the day that you and I played around on Twitter. Everybody was checking into restaurants and
Yeah.
places and malls
Yeah.
on Foursquare and Gowalla. So yeah, Gowalla is back, and it's been pretty cool.
Look at this here. Ann Ware says every guy in marketing class is obsessed with Chat GPT.
Sounds about right, because people say the Chat GPT is going to put us marketers out of business. So watch out.
Yeah. And they say the podcasters, right? I mean, the AI, they have AI podcasts now. Am I wrong?
Well, my favorite experiment was on Twitch, where they basically gave ChatGPT the outline of the TV show Seinfeld,
Yeah.
and everything that it wrote was acted out on screen by animated characters, and it was basically a 476-hour episode of Seinfeld written by ChatGPT. So yeah, we're all going to be out of work pretty soon.
Well, yeah. First the car companies, I was installing fenders, and now the podcasting thing is going to be history. So when someone asks you, and I did this earlier, so are you Mac or Windows?
I like to think that I'm I'm very promiscuous, but I am fairly loyal deep down in my heart to the overpriced line of hardware from Apple. But I have a Pixel phone. I have phones that no one's ever heard of running operating systems that are dead. I had an Apple Newton. I had, I just like anything with buttons, or even things without buttons.
But do you remember back in the day when we were building boxes, when there were those small little mom and pop type, you could buy a motherboard and a power supply and throw a Windows box together for next to nothing, right?
You can still do that. In fact, my youngest son did that about 4 years ago. And, it was a lot easier when you had a Circuit City or an IC supply where you could go and pick out your favorite transistor. But now everything is, you got to buy all of your pieces online. It almost seems kind of weird to be using a high-tech piece of technology to order the pieces to help you put together a low-tech piece of technology. But that's the way humanity has sort of worked out.
That's called advancement.
It's called retro. It's called appreciating your elders.
Well,
he definitely had more respect for me after he shocked himself a few times.
Well, I mean, the reason I laugh, I just ordered an antenna for over-the-air to pick up over-the-air broadcasting, and believe me, I got Netflix and Apple, Apple TV and all this stuff, and I'm going, gee, I wonder how that would work. The old box,
No, that's actually pretty smart, because you're going to still have some digital broadcasters in your region, and you don't have to pay the local cable company to get the local news and stuff like that. Go ahead. It comes down to when the revolution comes, or when the hurricane comes, or etc. The more independent you are, the better. Everybody's a survivalist now.
Well, you know what? It's the only way I can get the station that we put this television on without buying a whole box and another TV. I haven't had a television in 20 years. Everything I do on the net. Do you watch much television?
not TV like you. Thanks to my kids, we subscribe to pretty much every service out there, including some I don't know what they are, and I should probably check. But yeah, we collectively watch a lot of streaming programming.
Yeah, but it's been a while since you've watched Lost.
Oh, I miss Lost. Still an amazing piece of IP that has not yet been brought back. It will be. It's inevitable, but not yet.
But if you don't know, Ryan had a blog, I guess it was, about Lost that was #1 in the country when they were on the air. He did phenomenal stuff, and then I guess at some point you just went, you know what, I'm done with this. Bink. What? Everybody went, what are you, nuts? You're the man. Oh.
One of the few people who were better known for quitting a podcast than for starting one. Yes.
That's so well put. Hey, gang, we're going to be back with more of Ryan, and we're going to talk tech. If you have some questions, start loading them up, because when we come back, we'll deal with them as best we can. Thanks for watching The Daily Pigeon. We'll be right back. And we are back. Can you believe it, James? We didn't get canceled during the commercial break.
I was hoping, but I guess I got to come back.
It's Ryan Ozawa. That's why they came back. That's why they didn't cancel us.
It's always the guest.
It's the guest.
Yeah.
It's when we're on by ourselves that we need to worry.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, let's have Ryan on every show.
I would love that.
I go, well, I don't know that he would, but In fact, let's look to see if he's still on camera, because he may have just run for the door. Ladies and gentlemen, hopefully Ryan Ozawa is still here. Hey. Oh, thank you.
That's a surefire way to get canceled, though, is to have me on every week. That's right.
We can talk about regenerating the oscillator amplitudes.
That's right. As everyone who's been to a party knows, the longer you talk to the geek, the more you want to leave. So,
well,
not me, man. That's my favorite people.
Yeah, James used to do tech support. You ever do that?
Yeah, I mean, that's front lines. That's the real way to learn the best and worst of humanity.
Yes, that's when I used to see him regularly. I was working in the same building, and he knew I was doing help desk for this company that I was working at.
Oh,
and you're right. You're right. It is the worst. Because
I remember in the when the computers had those CD drives that used to come out, and you put the CD in it, and someone said, "Hey, my cup holder broke." They put a cup in there, and when it tried to retract, oh my goodness! What is
well,
it?
The longer you are in tech support, the more likely you're going to find other things that people try to put into slots. So just
when I was fixing copy machines, before I got into comedy, this lady says, "Our machine is squeaking." And I said, "Well, unplug it." She says, "We did unplug it. It's still squeaking." What? I go down there, open up the cover. A mouse is caught in one of the belts. I went, I'm going into comedy. I don't think I like this.
The plug in the machine, but it's more the rodent in the machine.
So, how is your family? Your children must be so big now. We watch them grow up on the internet. Your daughter.
Yeah, I was just reading. My wife and I were writing online before they were even born, and then I wrote from the delivery room where my first daughter was born, and they even wrote some blog entries as they were kids, and now they're 25, 20, and 18. Wow. So they're way past the cute stage. They're way past the smelly and sweaty stage. Yeah. They're almost at the can take care of and feed themselves stage. So
the smelly and sweaty stage.
That's a very you'll know when you hit that stage as a parent.
I've raised 2 teenagers. What are you kidding? Go. Yeah. My stages. One of my stages are the "I didn't ask to be born" stage.
Oh, well, yeah, that's up there for sure.
The door slamming stage. Remember that one? Oh, and then at the height of my popularity, my daughter, we'd drive up to the school. Okay, let me off here. I'll walk the rest of the way.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Because that's unfair. I mean, the number one reason why people have children is not to perpetuate their legacy, not to, well, maybe to have someone change the TV station back before there were remote controls, but it's specifically so that they humiliate you when they're young, and then you humiliate them when they're old. So when they say stuff like, please don't dance in public, or please don't, sing Roxanne at the top of your lungs, that's exactly what we're going to do. That's what we were working toward.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's called revenge.
What was funny is that when I would see him in the building that we both worked at, and then because I follow him on social media, in the elevator, his daughter was going up to your office, and me not forgetting that I'm a huge person, walks into the elevator and go, "Hey, I know you," and she has no idea who I am. And I go, "I know your dad," and then still not clicking in my head. I was like, "Well, I should explain first."
I know you.
I know your dad.
Oh man! Here, Auntie Bagel has a good one. She says a coworker was helping my mom with her putter, or with her computer, I guess. He gave her some instructions and told her to hit any key. Wait for it. I don't have an any key. We all know that one, right? The any key.
Well, Kate did come to me the day you met her in the elevator, and I'm not saying this says anything about how big you are, James, because she is also a very tiny person. Yeah. But it was, I would say, a formative experience that you will never forget.
Look, Hawaiian 5-0 says, Andy, what? You still get the hammer? Yeah, I know, but it might not work on Ryan. Hold on, let me see. Oh, it didn't. It's not showing. Wait, hold on. Let me see it. Let me try again. No, I have an animation of a hammer that comes and hits you on the head.
It's okay. It happens to all of us as we get older.
Yeah, well, I do it to myself when I'm on.
You don't need to know about that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Ryan. He just saved my career. Did you see that?
Well, it's strange that the two comedians on this show and the tech guy is funnier than both of us.
Funnier looking, I will attest to.
He has better punchlines than we do today.
That's because he's exercised his mind working on all those computers. Hey, when we come back, Ryan, and you can touch upon it here, we have about 1:30 left in this segment, but updating phones, right? I used to update every year, the old iPhone thing. Yeah, get into it. There you go, right there. I want to ask about, how do you make that decision? For me, it's all about if the camera is, exponentially better, then I might go to the next one. What is it for you?
Well, I am one of the people who always have to have the newest things. So many of the manufacturers now make it so you can sign up and just get them automatically. You just pay them every month. You barely feel it in your wallet. That's not true.
Oh, you just automatically.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that existed.
Yeah, they all want the subscription revenue. They just want to get money from you every month now.
Oh, I have this terrible habit of just buying it, and then I hold it for 2 years or 3 years, and then.
Yeah, well, my kids used to enjoy inheriting my old ones, but when you do these subscription services, you got to mail them back the old ones. So now my kids have to fend for themselves. They don't get to inherit.
No. Not that.
Not that.
I liked it better when Dad was a full-blown geek and threw technology away. We'll be right back with more of Ryan Ozawa talking tech. My name's Andy Boomentime.
And I'm James Money.
No go away. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. I got to tell you, James nailed it when he said, don't you hate it when you have two comedians on as co-hosts and the guest is funnier? No, I don't. I like it. In fact, let's bring him back on. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ryan Ozawa. How you, brother?
Good. Great to still be here.
Any new phone show up,
during
UPS during the commercial break?
The iPhone 20, I think, is it's out for delivery. Just hold on.
I think everything's holograms now, right? Is that how it works?
Yeah, you don't even touch it.
You know what? You know what I like about Amazon deliveries? You can create your own Christmas. You know, it's like, okay, 8 more days, and it should be here. Like, nowadays,
That's you get to the point where you're buying something every day, and then you get home and you're like, you have no idea what's coming anymore. You surprise yourself. Like, hey, past me. What were you thinking? It's pretty good.
Ryan, I think you're one of the few people with that problem in today's economy.
That's my sister. She's like, I'm not sure, but something arrived today. And I bring her the box and go, what's in it? I don't know. I have so many things on its way.
No, really?
Well, because Amazon ships free. So it's not like where before you say, okay, I got to make a list of what I'm going to buy and put it all in one box. Now it's just ship that. Tomorrow I'll buy something else, ship that.
Hi, Jojo girl. She says, hi there, Andy Bumatai. Andy Bumatai. We were joking about how if I went Hawaiian, I would Bumatai. We could put an Okina in front of Ozawa.
That's right, Irish Hawaiian.
What is the worst mispronunciation of your name you've ever heard?
I mean, I couldn't even. Basically, people think my name is Ryan Ozawa. Basically,
Hey, you're preaching to the choir. People say my name wrong all the time, so I get it.
Where do they get Brian Ozawa?
Because there are more Bryans than Ryans and more Ogawas than Ozawas, I guess.
Oh, man. What? You never grow up Pearl City.
Right, exactly.
That's where James grew up.
Well, hey, whoa.
No, look at it. Defensive.
I grew up in Aiea.
Oh,
yeah.
I live in Pearl City now, but I grew up in Aiea.
Oh, you grew up in Aiea.
Yeah. That's like me saying,
Aiea.
Hey. It's like me saying Andy from Nanakuli.
Yeah.
You like fight now.
No, close enough. Oh.
Yeah, I grew up across the street from the Watercress Farm, Pearl Ridge.
Oh, awesome. I grew up at the top of Kaonohi Street. The street that goes up past Anna Miller's. Yeah.
I think Brooke lives up there, Brooke Lee.
Not now.
Well, now it's like $1 million neighborhood. It wasn't when I was up
there.
Well,
no, I think her parents had a house up there. She lives with them or something. Yeah. Wow, $1 million house. Hey, $1 million house, that's just in Hawaii, that's called a house.
Yeah, that's a shack.
Yeah, I live in Mililani here, and people are, they just got their tax bills. I guess they're starting to, you know how many people are going, no way, no, I'm not paying the tax on this. This thing is,
Yeah, I live in Mililani too, and everyone's all panicking. I mean, when my mom bought this place, it was $219, right? And now it's assessed probably just under $800. Yeah. But if it's a single family home, guaranteed over $1 million.
You're gonna love this. The guy next door to me bought his house $35,000.
Wow.
When they first started building Mililani and my street, which is, like extended neighborhood now, he says that's where people used to come to throw their rubbish because it was all, and he goes, because when I bought, same thing. And he goes, and how much did you pay? I told him, he almost fell over.
Right.
Wow. I go, well, what did you pay? He goes, $35,000. And I thought, I would shut up. I'm out of here.
Right. That's a nice mid-sized car now, but anyway.
Yeah. Well, no, he still lives there, but he's having some health issues. He's an older guy, of course, because he's been here in Mililani, the planned community, since 1968.
All-American City, 1989.
Is that when they created Mililani? Was it 89?
That's when they won the Civic Planning Award.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but back when he bought his for $35,000, he only had Kamehameha Highway, right? And H2.
Yep. No H2.
Didn't have H2 to
I don't know. I was not.
Lots of pineapple.
Hey, Ryan, do people ever come to you when they're thinking about a certain type of technology, whether it be an online store or a gizmo or whatever, and ask your advice?
Absolutely. And I think one of the advantages of being as obnoxious as I am is that I have such a broad network of people I can refer people to. So usually people so I don't even know if there's a word for what I want, but this is what I want. And I'll be like, oh yeah, go talk to Andy. You know, like it's
Thank you. You're the reason. Has anything you suggested ever come to fruition?
Oh, many. I mean, actually, one of my favorite things to do is to encourage people to become Andy and James, you know, become content creators, become podcasters, become writers, become, yeah, you know, the dregs of society. That's what I want everyone to aim for. So, uh, I, I consider it a great accomplishment, the number of people who started writing online or podcasting or vlogging on YouTube, you know, basically sharing their voice and telling their story. And that's really one of my passions.
Well, Kehaulani here wants to know, I have a tech question for Ryan. When you're at Starbucks, do you get better Wi-Fi reception with or without tinfoil on your head?
You know, I'll have to test that theory, and I think I can probably borrow the tinfoil from them.
Well, I have some political friends who have tinfoil hats, and we could try those.
Yeah, tinfoil window covering it's pretty good.
What about security in some of those places to get cereal for just a second?
Sure, I love cereal. You know, don't use public Wi-Fi is the number one piece of recommendation. Is the number one recommendation. So even though Starbucks or Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf or whatever gives you free Wi-Fi, you probably shouldn't use it without either scrambling your own connection with a VPN, and there's some nice acronyms for you, VPN, or
Virtual private network.
Very good. Or you just connect it to your phone and use your phone's network.
That's what I do. And a lot of plans include a certain amount of that in your plan.
Yeah, tethering. Yep.
Wow. Okay. Well, I tell you what, that's a good subject. When we come back for segment 5, let's talk a little bit about ways to keep yourself safe, because you hear about these people that can scan your phone while it's in your pocket, and that sort of nightmare scenario. All right, gang. We'll be right back with more of our special guest, Ryan Ozawa, tech guy, when we come back. No go away. Man, I gotta tell you, folks, if you're not joining us at some time or another, you're missing out on what goes on during the commercial break. And you can join us 5 days a week, 3 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time on Twitch,
Facebook,
YouTube,
Twitter,
LinkedIn.
And
I win. We're on most major platforms, so please join us, and you can be part of the Hamajang gang. And then you see, look at this here. See this is the chat that people, you know, they want to ask questions, and then it says here, look here, see Romeo and Juliet. That's what we were talking about during the break. And when I click on it, guess what? It shows up on the screen. That's what that's all about. But the important thing, oops, I don't know what happened there. I have to go to here because I messed up something. We have a special guest, and he's our tech guy that is often used on a lot of the TV shows. So let's ask him about tech security. I wish I had some ominous music. Ryan Ozawa, how's it, Ryan?
Good to be here, and now everyone's going to fall asleep. This is the nap time portion of the podcast.
This is the most important. This is what I went to college for.
Well, you know, the
That's
people
why
on
we're
the
all
the people on the East Coast will appreciate it because it's getting late for them. You know, honey, I can't sleep. Put on the Daily Pigeon. I think they're going to do tech talk. Oh, perfect.
Do not listen while operating heavy machinery.
See? He's funnier than us.
That's great. Hey, no. Now, I've heard that people can scan your phone with a device while it's in your pocket, unbeknownst to you. Is that still a thing?
Well, everything going wireless, you can certainly get information from almost any device. I mean, you probably have a credit card that has an RFID radio transmitting chip, but your phone has one, NFC it's called. Nowadays, your things in your pocket and on your body are connecting to each other without you even knowing. If you thought Bluetooth was complicated, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Man, and is there anything you can do? Like I had a friend, this is almost embarrassing, he would wrap his phone in like tin foil or something. And is there anything you can do?
If you're that concerned about security, you shouldn't have a smartphone, first of all.
Yeah.
Also, if you do need to be off the radar, you should be using cash and not credit cards. But, they do make wallets that block RFID signals if that's a specific concern of yours. So while it's in your wallet, it has a little Faraday cage that keeps anything from going in and out. Of course, that means you'll have to take things out of your wallet to use it. I personally like having all of those radar chips in my wallet, so I can just put my wallet up against something and it'll do what I want it to do.
And what about like the Apple wallets? Like the one you have it on your watch, and it uses a different number than is actually on your credit card. Is it that much safer?
So those are always actually more secure because it's a layer of an abstraction between your physical card and the account. So I still feel that technology makes things more secure, although we feel less and less secure with technology these days. But we're talking about, getting way past the day where you used to have to put a credit card on a roller machine to get a physical imprint of the bumpy numbers on it. That was insecure.
That was insecure.
So
or
I
people complain about security, and then they give their credit card to some pimple-faced waiter who takes it in the back for 15 minutes and comes back. Okay, here you go.
Exactly. Well, and that's the good thing. Like, for example, the credit card skimmers on ATMs and gas machines. Now you just use the chip on your card. You don't put anything in. That's not bad. That's an improvement. And now that everybody's using mobile terminals at restaurants, you can pay for your dinner at the table with your card, sometimes without having to deal with a pesky human at all. And, that's actually an improvement of them saying, I will take your card into some mysterious place and you'll get it back in about 4 minutes and you'll have no idea what happened while it was gone.
But when you use an ATM and you use the the touchless thing and you lay your card up there, you need to remember to close the transaction. So many people get up there and use that thing, okay, and they get their cash, they walk off, and now the thing's sitting and the guy behind them can go in and take money out because they forgot to, would you like another transaction? Yes.
Right.
And the bank won't reimburse you for that because there's the you can't be an idiot clause.
Right, you're a dummy clause. Totally.
Yeah. Is there any other kind of security that we should be concerned about? Like, take for instance, you're on a plane.
Right. Well, I mean, broadly, the more you can keep on your body, the better. There are still people that leave their laptops in a coffee shop when they go next door for a Jamba Juice or whatever. And, I think that a lot of people are overly secure in physical security. They think the technical or electronic or code security is going to protect them, but having physical access to your devices, your phone, your wallet, your laptop, that's really where a great deal of mayhem happens. So you're just going to have to keep your stuff about you. Airplanes are tough because you're not going to take all that stuff into the tiny little closet-sized bathroom, but and of course, we talked earlier about using free Wi-Fi or public Wi-Fi systems. You want to avoid doing that whenever you can.
Here we have Mad Statter, who has her own channel on YouTube and Twitch, and she says, I called a client to get payment from her, and she was on a subway and started to read her credit card number to me over the phone. I stopped her once I realized she was in public. People don't think.
Yeah, and actually the need for that sort of transaction is what's going to go away, right? Because now it's like, just send me a Venmo. Or whatever the kids are using these days.
And, the credit, I mean, I'm referring to a news item that we editorialized about how the older folks they get targeted with these emails that say click this link or send your this, or saying, what's your advice to them?
Oh my gosh. Actually, that's probably where I started. That's on me. I mean, email phishing, suspicious or compromised links in email is number one, hands down, across the board, the way any fraud happens. So as much as you're worried about putting tinfoil around your wallet, clicking a link in your email since 1998 has been the number one way that people get taken advantage of. So I don't know what to say other than never click the links in an email. It seems impossible not to do, but that's what you should put into your head. Don't trust the link in an email. It's number one. It's how entire countries go down. It's how nuclear refining factories in Iran go down. Some moron somewhere in the system clicked on a link.
Yep.
Well, guess what? Just talking about it took this segment down. We'll be right back after this. Don't go away. Good stuff, Ryan. Wow. Can you believe it, James? This is segment 6.
Oh, we made it.
We made it. We have Ryan Ozawa, our guest, to thank for that.
Oh, thank you, Ryan.
Yeah, he is the tech guy. We've been talking tech, and we've been talking security concerning tech. So let's bring Ryan back on. How's it, brother? Thanks for being
Very good.
here.
If you're still awake, you're level 2. Very good. Congratulations.
Yeah, I need more ammo. I need more ammo. Hey, you know, we were talking about security, okay? It used to be email. I mean, it still is. Email is the primary way they get into your, psyche and accounts and such. But I'm seeing it on Messenger. I'm seeing it on text. The next thing, the kid next door will be passing me a note. Hey, is this you in this video? How do you avoid it?
Well, that's the tough part. And actually, I think one of my current pet peeves is the proliferation of inboxes, right? We have too many inboxes to check now. I want them all pointed into one place rather than having to check my WhatsApp, my Telegram, my Signal, my Facebook Messenger, my Instagram Messenger, my Twitter inbox, there's too many places where these things
are. So true.
And, we talk a lot about the importance of multi-factor or two-factor security, which is good. Do that. That's recommendation number 1.
Do it.
Where it's like connect this account with a password to this account with a code that you have to put in every time you log in. It's a pain in the butt. Inconvenience and security are on the same side of the spectrum. Convenience and insecurity go together. Yeah. But now, unfortunately, that's what you're seeing. You're seeing they're going to move to sending you a Instagram message and get your text number so they can text you something, and then that link takes you to a site that compromises your login information on one of the websites, and they know you're on Instagram because you answered their message on Instagram, so they can go after your Instagram credentials. It's crazy. They can come at a single target from 6 different angles.
Darlene S. says, thanks for the help, Ryan, for someone who isn't tech savvy. Oh, that's so nice. Yeah. And you mentioned during the break the Tetris movie. How geeky is that?
That's pretty awesome. I mean, I'm not a gamer. You would think I would be. Most tech people are. My son and his wife met in virtual reality game, but I'm not really a gamer. And I was saying,
me either.
The last time I remember getting excited or addicted to something was Tetris, like in 1990, right? But the most interesting thing about that in terms of pop culture is that Apple TV funded a dramatic reenactment of the discovery of Tetris and the bringing of it to the Western market and the fact that it became the biggest thing in the world. And the reason why that's important for the Daily Pigeon is that the person who did that, the person who sight unseen with no plan whatsoever flew himself to Russia and started knocking on doors to find the guy who made Tetris to license it, is in Hawaii, lives in Hawaii, and started businesses in Hawaii and runs Tetris from Hawaii.
Was it James?
Exactly. But I just spoiled the movie. Spoiler alert.
Wow. You know what? And only a true geek would look at Tetris and go, that would make a great movie.
No, they've made movies for Pac-Man and Battleship, and I mean, they're not good movies, but clearly you can make a movie out of any game.
Man, I was addicted to Tetris.
Oh, yeah, a lot of people. Too. You know who? Michael W. Perry.
Really?
Addicted to it. He was doing it in between takes on KSSK. And they're like, what are you doing? It's Tetris, man. Watch out.
Yeah. It was big on the original Nintendo, and it was why the Game Boy took off as much as it did.
Yeah. I would see shapes when I walked around.
Oh, no.
Dream about Tetris.
Yeah, the L could fit here. The box could fit here.
Look at here. Mad Statter says, I was a total Tetris addict. Which brings me to this question, Ryan. Are you ever asked by people, how they can kick their tech habits?
Yeah, I mean, there are many people who go through cleanses, social media cleanses, and I recommend them. I mean, it's like you're probably never going to get away from them, but just like how you have to take a vacation from work, or at least you should. I never did. You can take a break, and you can. Don't make a dramatic announcement about it. Don't try to impress your friends saying, "I am logging off Facebook, and I'll see all you losers later." But just disappear. Just take that day, delete all of your social media apps, and spend a couple of weeks not participating. And you're going to feel better. You're going to realize the kind of pressures and dopamine hits you've been chasing when somebody likes your post. And you're going to think a lot more clearer. Chances are you're going to get sucked back in, like in the Godfather. But you can at least take a break. I would definitely recommend making that part of your one of your objectives or your New Year's resolutions.
Yeah, that's funny because, like you say, with those people that like announcing, "Oh, I haven't had a drink in 2 days," or I was like, they're that kid who goes, "I'm running away from home."
Well, it is, but it is a real problem. Take, for instance, right here. Look here, a Watts 45. I'm addicted to this show. Always got to be home at 5.
That's an addiction, all right. You might want to consult a physician if the swelling persists.
The swelling.
The swelling does not go down in 3 hours. Hey, Ryan, thank you so much for being here. Really, I know you were a little reluctant in the beginning, going, "Oh, wow, what the heck's going on?" But I think it turned out great, don't you, James?
Awesome, loved it.
I loved it. It's good to be podcasting again.
Thanks for watching. Aloha.
All right, aloha.